cause we discussed a lot after the game. So yeah, like sometimes it can turn into very bad arguments.
Oh, wow.
Someone once told me, in a marriage, now obviously you guys are not married, but in a marriage, when you argue with your other person, apparently it means that you really care about each other. So sometimes, I guess these arguments, like, it means you care about the team and that you only mean well, it just didn't come out right.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
All right, so it looks like Game 3 is ready between Impunity versus Infamous. Now, I want to hear your thoughts, Chingy. Who is taking Game 3?
I think right now Impunity has a very good job. Like Quarter War, his lens is like honestly I would say I think he's the best lens in SA right now. And Infamous is going for they're going for the standard pick, the Kestrel. Like Kestrel, for them they are winning the games right now. So why not just keep going for the Kestrel until maybe they lose the game.
Very, very true. All right, we're going to pass it on over to our casters, Riku and Asarai. Take it away.
All right, just a little bit of a food for thought. Teza Boy said before Chingy came with us here, is that you should fear more the Kestrel because you can't crowd control her if it was the Idris. But for me, I guess my argument here would be Spaghetti feels more, he's the most comfortable with the Idris, and if you allow him, even if you go for the counters with the CCs, I think he can dodge it, and then that's still Impunity's fear and respect for Infamous.
They're definitely aware that the problem is the Kestrel here, but looking at their picks, Grace was open, but they decide to go for the Arden instead. Decided to go for the Vanguard for that Gauntlet for their side of Infamous. So it's actually pretty interesting, you know, removing the Catherine there. Land's already being taken. Impunity is having a very solid draft, but we see a Gwen. A Gwen.
What was that? What was that about?
She's happy about the Gwen pick, Asarai.
Is that our Gwen in real life?
Probably the cosplayer from yesterday, but going back into the draft, this is actually pretty interesting because this is the first time we're going to be seeing a Gwen in this tournament.
Yeah.
In general, like our day number 1, no Gwen. This time around, it's do or die for Impunity. So if they're going to be pulling out the cheese picks, this is the time to do it, Impunity. This is your time.
I guess the reason for that Gwen is that you can at least use the Skedaddle, your B slot, to be able to remove these certain debuffs and be able to block these debuffs for a certain time, which maybe is the reason why they want to go for her. And a Kestrel, so this is going to be the Kestrel that goes for the jungle. They have banned out the Taka because they were thinking that Uni will probably pick this if they found out that the Celeste would be the last pick. But the possibility here of a Koshka is not that far.
Black Feather is open.
Yeah, Black Feather too.
Black Feather, what else can they put? I mean, Infamous, very solid draft so far. Let's see what they're going to be deciding as I'm looking at their previous picks from Infamous against Elite 8.
Could also be a glaive as well, just because there's so much immobility here for Impunity. Celeste and Gwen don't really have that much, or rather don't really have any mobility skills. Maybe a Skedaddle here for the Gwen, but it's not really as good. Infamous are taking their sweet time, but I guess that they're still going to go for their comfort picks, and Uni will be playing on that Samuel.
It's a similar pick to game number 1 where they first picked the Kestrel and last picked the Samuel. And instead of a lance, since it's taken, they decided to go for an Arden, and it worked well. Or pick we're gonna be seeing we're gonna be seeing a game number 4. We're gonna be seeing a lot of things today. Game number 3 is Infamous gonna be crowned the champions.
Again, guys, you gotta remember when we had Quart d'Ivoire in our panel here, he told us that his name is French, meaning crossroads. So you gotta choose your path. And right now, Impunity, they gotta choose. Come back for this one or surrender to Infamous's unbeatable streak in this best of 5.
Yes, sirree. Clowny here is going to be protecting, staying on the lane, clearing down the waves. Impunity with the aggressive rotations on the jungle, trying to find a pick here. They are capable to do so. They've got the right amount of damage. They have the Celeste here with a Heliogenesis, plus the correct CCs from the Quart d'Ivoire, from the Lance rather. Oh, he's not a hero, but Lance with the first Impale skill there being utilized. Meanwhile, Infamous again doing their usual rotations. going lane dominance instead of early jungle control.
I have to give it Impunity's drafting is pretty good, but at the same time, their strategy is very one-sided in the point that Infamous are so used to it already. You can see that as Impunity force push this lane, Infamous just push it back, and now Impunity will try to go for a counter engage here. But maybe this is the reason why Infamous went for the Samuel pick, because game one all over again. If Impunity go in to the jungle of Infamous to go for the steals, they still have the skill shots that come out from Uni and Spaghetti. But now, Uni will get caught out. This is a 3v1 situation. Clowny is here. He does have that gauntlet. Goes for the shield, but the damage is just too much. And Spaghetti did not even care for his teammate. He's just going to try to get the CS in the lane and allow Impunity to get that first blood.
This is very deja vu of what we saw earlier. A first blood kill from Impunity side, and Infamous is just going to be patient, going to keep pushing this lane. Let Spaghetti ramp up, because mid-game is where it's at for Infamous. That's the time that they're going to be more active. That's the time that their kit is going to be complete, that they're going to be capable of kills, because the pre-level 6 alone, I feel like Infamous is going to be very weak in comparison to Impunity's draft. You got to fear the early game lands. The level 2 combination.
Spaghetti.
Uh-oh.
Misses the stun. That might be detrimental here as Uni's going in with the Malice and Verdict. Look at the damage, but it doesn't have the energy. Now chasing down onto Blue City. They don't have crowd control here for the meantime. So all they can do is go for the chase, go for the poke. But Croix d'Ivoire, he has put himself in the favor of the Wolves. He does get that impale, but the chase is on. It's effective, and Uni shuts him down.
Nicely done. Look at Gwen here. Def Q going to be rotating on Infamous' side of the jungle. Staying safe, obviously, but great pick there. They had a choice between who they're going to chase down, either Croix d'Ivoire or Blue City. Blue City is already near the turrets, so they decide to go for Croix d'Ivoire, which took the long way around. Great play as well from Croix d'Ivoire. Decision making not to pursue the same path, so that Infamous would have a target choice. They chose the land instead, but yeah. Anyway, gold lead still quite even here for our third match for the day. Wave clears are happening here on this lane. Level 6 alone, I feel like Infamous is going to be very weak in comparison to Impunity's draft. You got to fear the early game lands. The level 2 the jungle. Staying safe, obviously, but great pick there. They had a choice between who they're going to chase down, either Croix d'Ivoire or Blue City. Blue City is already near the turrets, so they decide to go for Croix d'Ivoire, which took the long way around. Great play as well from Croix d'Ivoire. Decision making not to pursue the same path, so that Infamous would have a target choice. They chose the lands instead, but yeah. Anyway, gold lead still quite even here for our third match for the day. Wave clears are happening here on this lane. Quite standard for now.
You know why it's kind of scary that you have to go up to a Samuel? Because look at the items of Uni. He went for 4 crystal bits just so that when he gets that level 2 spike, his damage would be insane. And this early on, you wouldn't be seeing the carries go in for shield defense. And in terms of the items, look at that. They're as squishy can be. So if they're in the range of the Samuel and the Kestrel, they will eat a whole chunk of poke.
Indeed. Level advantage. Looks like we're ready to see a fight. Lance actually tries to charge in. Death Q super low. Glimmer shots being hit. Samuel with the pokes as well. They're going to be trying to find the right opportunity to target as Gwen will try to wave clear. Uni coming from the side. Looking for a clear shot. Croix d'Ivoire will go back as well as Def Q. Blue City landing some Heliogenesis. Try to spot them out, but looks like Infamous is just going to respect that and gain more control over the jungle instead.
All right, the other thing here is, the reason why I'm not a big fan of the Gwen is I don't hate a hero, but her early game is so bad because she's so squishy and so susceptible to damage that if she is out there in the open without proper defense, she will get blown up. And you saw that even if DefQ didn't die, he still took so much damage before they got the kill.
Exactly. And Impunity has to make a choice or make these choices in terms of what fights they are prepared for at this point of the game as Infamous continues on with the aggression with their wave clear. Good wave clear from Infamous. Not sure about, what do you call this? Not sure about disengage. They don't have that yet. Not with the gauntlet being present. Impale actually misses.
Quart of War has been missing so many of these counter engages on his stun, and it's not really looking good for them. If he doesn't connect it, there's no way that Celeste and the Gwen would want to be or would be comfortable enough to actually push through and deal the damage. So now, Infamous, I feel like even though they only have a 500 gold lead, they got a surmountable control of the map. They've spotted out how Impunity actually goes for their rotation, and now Impunity, because they have such a, I would say, such a little bit mid to late game centric type of comp, they don't have too much damage right now.
Oh my god!
They're gonna be lacking in what they need to actually have a little bit of fight in this early game.
Oh, Clowny was flexing earlier. Get the in wall just to push him around. 1/4 HP already. There's the Solar Storm. Solar Flare not actually being activated. Not actually hitting, rather. But that flex, though.
Nah, great bait, mate, man. Clowny's fine. He got the Vanguard. He's gonna be all good.
He doesn't have Gauntlet yet.
He has
so.
Fountain, though.
True that. He has Fountain. But one thing I noticed earlier is that Infamous missed their opportunity. Looks like they're going to be focusing. Oh no, Uni! Because everybody else was focusing on the turret. They're focusing on the objective. This Clowny will be the next one to fall. Quite impressive. And now we see Impunity might take advantage of the two members down.
So that's what happens when Quart of War gets his stun. You'll be able to get a pick immediately from the damage of the Grace. Actually thought a Grace wouldn't have that enough damage, but once you got that tension bow, she's pretty damn scary. And with that collection on the gold mine, they at least gap close the gold that Infamous have bought up for them, or rather scaled up for themselves.
Exactly. Infamous playing, Impunity rather, playing this well. But for me, that play was tunnel visioning. Not really tunnel visioning in a bad way, but more like it's okay to give away 2 kills as long as we got the turret. Even though they're going to get 2 in exchange. Okay, hold that thought. We're going to see a fight.
There's going to be the fight indeed, but Clowny was actually pushed forward. That's not the target that they wanted. Blue City is now being chased down for the life of me. Gauntlet to connect. There's the 2-man stun. DefQ will be able to survive. Solar Storm not going to connect as well. Blue City trying to go left and right. Glimmer Shot will actually put him down to 1 hit now. And Infamous, they want to go for it. They're trying to poke with it. Malice and Verdict as well as that Glimmer Shot, but it's not going to happen. So what they do is just break down this turret. Still, they're gonna have the objectives, and now they gotta back away.
Where's the aces high from DefQ? Already being used, so no stun right there to secure the kill. But that was beautiful. You saw how they were moving from side to side. They know when to switch targets. They know when someone is already too far away, they switch to another. And it just forced Impunity to back away, fight another day. Infamous played that so well, even though the Oblivion was not on point just yet, but the skill shots of Uni and Spaghetti are on point. And the gauntlet, did not forget about that gauntlet from Clowny, just in time, reached the ends of the barrier just to stun the Gwen. That was perfect, and it enabled Infamous for more opportunities to damage the turret, to damage the members, and to gain more control over the map.
Well, I mean, yeah, you basically said everything I wanted to say as well during that fight. I'm going to give you that one. That was just great positioning from the Arden. And because, I mean, there is the Crucible here for Quart of War, but it's not really being used to full effect. I don't know what's happening to him at the meantime, but now, Infamous, they know where Quart of War is. I feel that they're just going to try to get this Crystal Sentry, and look at it get blown up. There's the connection onto Spaghetti, and they're trying to follow it up as well. DefQ follows up the damage from the Grace. That's the burst that we were talking about. And Uni will try to go for that kiting as much as he can. Aces High has been used, no stun anymore. Clowny has been pretty good with sidesteps as well. So this At least this Lance cannot follow through with another beautiful Impale. But the Crystal Sentry has come back into the fight, although they burst down Clowny.
Burst down Clowny indeed. Guardava super low. One shot, one kill. Will not finish any targets whatsoever. Uni running out of energy here. Trying to scare them away. Canceling the ports instead. Scout trap activated there. But they're not stopping. Uni is not stopping. But that flare there.
No, it won't.
Catches Cordova earlier.
Alright, they won't go for the re-engage.
Definitely, they're going to settle for this gold miner instead. Looks like they have an idea what's going on. Too late to contest as Cordova decides to go back. But the thing that happened there in that team fight earlier was beautiful. The Impale connected towards the Kestrel, followed up with a core collapse. That means no active camo for you, Spaghetti. No escape. Pair it up with a Solar Storm, but bam, you finish off that other problem. Cloudy keeps doing these things. He's an entertainer. He was flexing, now he does the kiss emote. What's next, Clowny?
This is enticement. They're trying to bait in. Ace is high. Blocked by Clowny right there. That was beautiful.
Whoa!
Oblivion on the two members of Infamous. The chase is on. Gillian Wall to get the stun onto Quartervoix, but Infamous cannot find the targets that they need. What an Oblivion from Uni. That could have been a sick follow-up from Infamous.
Definitely Clowny might spot out DefQ, but they're going to be settling with the wave clear for now. What an exciting, almost all-in team fight, but they decide to disengage. Nice wall. That's the beautiful thing about the Lens. You can use it offensively, you can use it defensively as well. Combat roll, lots of ability, Gintian wall just to push those enemies away from your own team. You see, 5-1 in terms of kills. Infamous is the type of team that is okay, that kills aren't on their side during the early phases of the game, as long as they have more map control, that they know that they're going to scale later on into the game, that they have a nice curve based on the comp that they have developed. So lots of flares going up here and there just to spot out any sneaky plays whatsoever, because Quartervoix is capable of doing so.
I thought that Impunity would actually go for the gold miner for now, but they don't want that hot potato. They just want to go for something else. Is it going to be the pickoff for the meantime? Do Infamous know that they're actually onto the brush? Clowny's going to go for the face check, and he will be swatted out, but he's pretty tanky right there. He actually leaves and does a defensive gauntlet. Where is our very own Uni? Uni's going to go in, activates the Dark Grip from the sidelines, and he's going to get chased down now by Quartervoix. Though at the same time, he does block that Lance. The Oblivion will also be blocked, but for the life of me, Impunity are super low on HP. No Echo. Actually, there is an Echo already up for Clowny, so he can go for another engage with that Gauntlet. And for the meantime, they're trying to go for the chase down. Impunity have to back away. They see it. They have the opportunity. Crystal Sentry is there, but the damage is insane. Spaghetti goes in. There is the Glimmer Shots, and they gotta back away. They gotta respect right now Infamous, but at the same time, here it is. Oh, that Solar Storm. Wow.
Overcommitment. There you go. With the active camo, gets a stun Gintian wall. You have no escape. And that is the miner that is going to be available for the taking. Infamous with the very, very aggressive decision to pursue, even though they did not need to.
For me, yeah, that was true. Also, after that fight, they got lucky. We're not yet 15 minutes into the game, so that Ace will not transition into a Kraken just yet. Maybe just the one turret and the gold mine. But at least in terms of the lead and the momentum of the game, it's still not in the hands of Infamous, rather. Or rather, in the hands of Infamous. And Impunity there, that was just a great Solar Storm. I really thought that Infamous could actually have gotten that, but they lined up for the ultimate of the Celeste.
Exactly. If you are the chasing end of this fight, if you're going to be chasing Impunity, Impunity has the upper hand because it's easy to land all these skill shots coming from the Heliogenesis and the Core Collapse with the anticipation of, they're just going to be coming in that direction. You know where they're going to be coming from. And with Infamous, that does not have a solid a solid CC to rely on, not like a Lance, not like a Holy Nova. It's more like a in the form of a gauntlet.
They see it, they have the opportunity, Crystal Sentry is there,
Oh.
but the damage is insane. Spaghetti goes in,
Oh.
there is the Glimmer shots, and they gotta back away. They gotta respect right now Infamous, but at the same time, here it is. Oh, that's Solar Storm, wow.
Overcommitment. There you go. With the active camo, gets a stunned Gynthian wall. You have no escape. And that is the minor that is going to be available for the taking. Infamous with the very, very aggressive decision to pursue, even though they did not need to.
For me, yeah, that was true. Also, after that fight, they got lucky. We're not yet 15 minutes into the game, so that ace will not transition into a Kraken just yet. Maybe just the one turret and the gold mine, but at least in terms of the lead and the momentum of the game, it's still not in the hands of Immunity, Infamous rather. Or rather, in the hands of Infamous. And Impunity there, that was just a great Solar Storm. I really thought that Infamous could actually have gotten that, but they lined up for the ultimate of the Celeste.
Exactly. If you are the chasing end of this fight, if you're going to be chasing Impunity, Impunity has the upper hand because it's easy to land all these skill shots coming from the Heliogenesis and the Core Collapse with the anticipation of, they're just going to be coming in that direction. You know where they're going to be coming from. And with Infamous, that does not have a solid CC to rely on, not like a Lance, not like a Holy Nova. It's more like in the form of a gauntlet. It's more in the form of Spaghetti's active camo. These are unreliable CCs that is hard to land, and you have to sort of risk yourself for it to actually connect. But then, if you think about it, it's more like this is something that Impunity can play around with. If Infamous can get too greedy, then they can take advantage of that.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of CCs for Infamous to work with, but on the same end, Impunity do have, like I said, the Lance, and even the Ace is high for Def Q, the follow-up damage. We're talking about how Impunity right now don't really have the damage, a while ago rather, but 16 minutes into the game, you can see Frostburn, Broken Myth, Eve of Harvest with Blue City, so he has stacked up 3 items on the Celeste. Def Q, Tension Bow, Sorrow Blade, I believe Blazing Salvo as well, building up into maybe a Bone Saw, but oh no, Arden gets picked away. That's not going to be good. So only Uni and Spaghetti will be left to defend.
Wow, Oblivion being used, Crucible, just a block that CC out. No sleep for you, Infamous, as they're going to be going towards this jungle. Uni just explodes into the damage. Not expecting all 3 to collapse onto him. Wow, Infamous.
Well, I felt like Uni wanted to die there because if you think about it, this early on, there's not really far of a respawn timer, and what they wanted to happen for Infamous was maybe not to allow that turret to go down. But now, one shot,
Whoa!
1 kill onto Blue City. This could still be pretty bad. That Kraken will get the last hit by the Gwen. It's not going to look good, and Clowny will die once more as he just respawned.
This is the feeling of wanting it to end. Infamous is just so greedy of getting that title. That is why it's like you can sense that their decision making, that it's already blocked. They're making these questionable decisions. They're making these risky plays, and the reward and the return is something that they're not ready for, as Impunity is just reaping everything that they've worked hard for in this game.
Now Infamous will try to go for the defense. There is the Kraken. They will try to break it down as the last Crystal Sentry is destroyed. This could be Impunity going for the GG push, but they gotta be careful. Infamous
misses.
Infamous still is a pretty sizable threat here, so maybe Impunity they're gonna say, we've already done the damage. We've broken their base. Only 1 turret to remain that protects the Vein Crystal, so they're just gonna back off. There is the purchases from the items there for the Samuel, but I don't know if it's a bit too late. Spaghetti hasn't dealt the damage that he needs to, So we'll just have to see if Impunity will choke or will Infamous be the one to do that.
This is actually pretty smart from the draft of Impunity. The crowd is cheering for Impunity here on the venue, but going back to the game, one thing I noticed about Impunity, okay, just keep playing the Kestrel. We're fine with that. If we cannot deal with a dive-heavy composition to deal with the Kestrel, because your positioning is just too much of a headache, then we're going to deal with Infamous's composition with our own version of annoying backline heavy damage with a Gwen, with a Kestrel, and the Celeste rather. So it works out so well because for you to actually damage the backline, you have to sacrifice your own position, and that leaves you out in the open. Ardan has to be in a very awkward spot, and he's not one of the tankiest heroes that you can, use to protect the rest of your backline. So he easily got choked down. You saw that when he got caught out. Everybody just focused him down, and then immediately it was a 2v3. And I fear Infamous, wow, they have something in mind. They're going to be playing defense this time around.
Kraken should be responding soon, and the question now for Infamous is, what is their win condition with this comp, with this certain situation? What can they do to be able to win the fight against Impunity? It's not being able to outlast, because it feels like Impunity have the more robust type of composition here. Even if I said that Gwen is pretty easy to be bursted down, she has bought up the Slumbering Husk, and we know that's a pretty good defensive item if you don't want to get bursted down by either Uni or Spaghetti. Kraken has been awoken once again. Now, who will be able to get the rights for this pushing behemoth? That's the question, as we can see that Impunity are going for the jungle invade, but Infamous do know that there is a little bit of this one. They know where they are, and they're playing around this positioning.
Oh, they saw Spaghetti back away, so that means that's 2 members all alone. Oh no, the flares are in. Githian Wall misses, Impale misses as well. They're letting them chase. Aces High misses. Everything is missing in this game.
And here we go, Clowny using at the edge. There is the gauntlet. He's super low in the HP, but he leaves with another MVP gauntlet to keep him alive. Spaghetti's trying to set up a trap right now, but he cannot find a target for the life of me. Uni is still alive for the meantime. He was able to port back, but here we go. The Kraken is a pretty juicy target for Impunity, but they gotta be careful because of Kestrel, because a Samuel is still here in the battlefield.
That was weird, but this is intense. I'll talk about it later. They're chunking down that Kraken super close. Quadriva is going to zone them away. Nice block here. Uni gets the Githian Wall, gets slammed into that tree. He's going to get stunned. They're trying to buy some time. Reset onto the Kraken. Kestrel, Spaghetti. He has something
Spaghetti's
different
pushing.
tonight. He is.
But there is just the choke there to deal with.
Gwen knows. Impunity knows this already.
He's going to try to run away here. This is a 1v1 who has the better damage. Slumbering Husk MVP item for Def Q. And that's going to be the ace. And here now comes the Kraken. 40 seconds onto Spaghetti. Can Infamous come back from this game 3?
Uh-oh, Clowny almost gets spotted out there. But earlier, the moment that they knew Spaghetti went home, they immediately just go and try to get a pick. Githian Wall onwards the turret, half HP. Clowny in big trouble. There comes the Crucible being activated. Quadriva combat rolls just to zone them away. They're finishing this up, Asarai.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a game number 4. A little bit of